So if you're interested in Sega Mega Drive games or Sega Genesis, you're interested in the different types of variants, especially here in Australia and New Zealand, by the way, then this video is for you. So I'm going to quickly go through some of my collection and how crazy it kind of gets when you get right into collecting over here. So this is what just a regular Sega Mega Drive PAL version of a game looks like. This is the Sonic the Hedgehog game, just regular. You can get this pretty much in any country apart from North America where they had the Genesis labels. So yeah, but if you're in Australia and you want to get really crazy about collecting, there are different manuals you can collect as well that were released here in Australia. So the manuals that are released worldwide look like this one, a glossy coloured manual, but in Australia they release different variants of manuals as well. So here you've got two different manuals, for some reason I'm guessing cheaper to print in the blue color and font. You've got one that's horizontal and one that's vertical. I won't get too much into that, but this is another thing. Personally, I don't look out for these. They just sort of come, and when I'm sort of buying and selling in bulk, I find them and then I just chuck them in with the game. And some of my games have one manual, two, and like this one, three. I'm sure a lot of you aren't that crazy though. And I'll quickly go through some of the exclusives. So the PAL exclusive for Echo Junior was only released in Australia. I think there is a North American one for the Genesis, but the PAL one was only ever released in Australia. The same goes for, I think it's Fatal Fury 2, which was the PAL version was only released in Australia. But the game that was only released in Australia and nowhere else is Days Before Christmas. This is a really sought after game. So yeah, Days Before Christmas, it was only ever released in Australia, and I believe it's the only proper Australian exclusive. And apart from games, you can get into the box consoles, which have Australian exclusives like this Lion King one. This one isn't actually really listed anywhere when you're looking for Australian exclusives, but it's quite rare, and I've seen it go for over $1,000 on eBay. I purchased it for $10 at a garage sale. So moving along, they released some games under both the Platinum and the Gold collection. There's no reason that I've ever found like how games got selected for these collections. I'm guessing just based on sales or popularity, like the PlayStation Platinums. These are probably the most attainable to collect, and it does look pretty cool when you have a complete collection. And as you can see over here, there are silver cases, and both the cart and the case were released in silver. And again, like there was no real explanation of why this happened, but certain games under certain titles were released in silver and black. And these are pretty cool. What's difficult about collecting for these is there weren't as many circulated. A lot of the cases are busted up. I have a pretty good collection just from like swapping out cases over the years from when I've gotten some through. But yeah, I'm only a few away from the complete collection for that. Another crazy thing. And if you are completely into this, like with collecting all the different variants of manuals, you will end up having the same title under the regular PAL version, the Australian version that comes in a silver cartridge and case, and the Platinum version. I think Sonic Spinball might come in 3 as well. I know, it's crazy. Why have 3? Well, I never set out to collect things this way, but it just happens. Oh, and another interesting thing about the silver cases is I was told recently that there's a Spider-Man version that came out in the silver case. But if you look at any list, the Spider-Man version isn't there. And the person that told me this said it was exclusive to New Zealand, which I thought was a bit strange because Aussiesoft was the Australian company that covered New Zealand as well. So I don't know why it would be exclusive to New Zealand and not Australia. I've never seen it, but when I did look it up, I did find a silver Spider-Man case and cartridge under the Genesis North American label. which is even weirder because Sega Australia, or Aussiesoft, they were the ones that produced the silver cartridges and cases, so it makes no sense why a Sega Genesis version of Spider-Man would have a silver case and card. Who knows? Who knows? But now that I know about it, I kind of want to look for it. I can imagine they'd be very expensive. And like the Gold and Platinum collections, they release some games under Sega Sport, so obviously sports games, and it's the same sort of concept with these, like certain games were released under this label. And for another strange reason, some games were released in what looks like a VHS case, and the cover art and everything was printed to fit these cases. And if you read online, they will actually say that these are VHS cases, but from what I can tell, most of them aren't, because they're actually designed to hold games inside, as you can see in this photo. And yeah, there are only a few games that were released under this, but unlike the Platinum and Gold, each game that came in one of these VH style cases, they didn't come in the smaller cases. So yeah, pretty random. And other games that came in these styles of cases were the double packs. So same sort of thing, but re-releases again of other games just to boost the sales, I guess. And so this next one is quite weird, what they call Dodgy Roadshow cases. So basically it's the Sega Genesis colors of red, and in some cases it's actually a Sega Genesis cover and they've put stickers over top with the Mega Drive logo. And then in others, you've actually got ones that have been printed off and which just look photoshopped, like they've taken off the Sega Genesis logo and just slapped Mega Drive over top. Really strange. As you can see, this one comes in a silver case as well, the Kawasaki Superbike Challenge. And it's the same on the cartridges as well. So where the Genesis logo would be, it has the Mega Drive, but in the Genesis colors. And another final thing, if you're really pedantic about collecting for Australian variants, on some of them, they will have the actual age rating on the cover, printed onto the actual insert. I don't personally go out of my way to collect for those, and I don't plan to, but yeah, I know some people really do. I think that's everything, and that is the crazy world of collecting Sega Mega Drive games in Australia. If you're pedantic and want to collect all the variants, there are complete lists online. I actually have one here that I printed out, and I'll leave a link below in the description if you do want your own list. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed my video, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.